Yeah, welcome back to the channel. This is Radio Jones, and if you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, it's great to see you back. Hey, in this video, I want to talk about what happens when your friends discover that you are a YouTuber, that you're doing YouTube, because a lot of people just don't get it. A lot of people think it's so easy, think it happens, and they don't realize the grind or the work or the effort or the enjoyment that you get from putting your time into YouTube. So this is a story about a few friends of mine. I've went to a music gig, and you're talking to the same people I've known for, well, say the last 15 years. And you know, they say, "How's your day going?" "Yeah, good, blah blah," and they're talking about different things. And one of them said, "Oh, I seen your channel. I seen your YouTube channel. You got some really nice places down in Tasmania, and you're really showing us showing some nice waterfalls and beaches." And I didn't realise it was so lovely, and all niceties and being pleasant. And then I said, "That's awesome. Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate your kind words." I said, "Have you seen the Talk channel?" And Talk channel? No, he didn't get into it. And then I said, "I've actually I got a few channels, but they're all different branches. You know, they're all different things." And he just looked at me with a glazed look and thought, "Yeah, you're crazy. Why are you doing what you're doing?" He said, "Get back into the music, like get back into where you were." Anyway, a bit of a chat, and then he was talking to another guy, and then the other guy said, "I didn't even know he did videos on Tasmania." So, and one of them, like, I do a long story. This is a good story, but I used to do radio as well, so I've put that off for about a year now. Or I'm 6 months into a year's hiatus from radio. And he said, "Yeah, I haven't heard him on the radio lately." And he said, "Well, so what's he doing?" He said, "He's doing YouTube." And they've gone, "YouTube? You're kidding." And for a little music venue, this conversation sort of swirled around, and people were sort of talking to other people about, do you know Jonesy does YouTube? And it's pretty bizarre that, honestly, I've been doing YouTube for 8 years on Australian Radio Indie, which is a music channel. I've been doing it for a long time. They know I've been filming. They probably know I upload. Your friends decide that they think where you should be putting your time, where come back to where you were in the past. Why are you wasting your time doing that stuff now? All this sort of conversation was being had. So let me just say, it's always good not to tell your friends that you are a YouTuber, because the beauty of YouTube is that people who discover your content watch, they either like it and stay and come back again, or they watch and then go to the next one, flick, the old short sort of mentality. But it's great that a community can be had. Like, you can do live streams. I did a live today, and I had a friend over at Melbourne, like he's on the mainland. So I had Sean from Down Under Cruises. He was on there with me, and we were on. All the people that joined us, like, there wasn't hundreds, but there was enough people there to make it enjoyable with the conversation and the chat. And they were from America, from the Philippines, from all around Asia, Canadians, and the list goes on. I don't really ask where they're from most of the time. A couple of guys from the Nordic countries. I'm not sure if they were Sweden or Norway, but where can you get this great conversation and chat happening with people all around the world with the click of a button? It's all on YouTube. So I don't think these guys, I don't know if they don't get it, but when you're an artist or a musician, or you've got your own sort of goals in mind, you sort of run down this lane or the road, and you do what you do, and some people do what they do very, very well, like musicians. A lot of my musician friends, I find at the moment, unless you've got a gig every week and you're doing Friday, Saturday, Sundays, you really can't make a living out of it. And the ones who do make a living out of it, they're doing their thing and they're busy, and they probably haven't got time to scroll through YouTube. I used to be a Facebooker, and I used to go onto Facebook and look at what people are showing, what they are doing. It's like, and I discovered after a while, like, Facebook's fabulous to connect family and friends. Don't get me wrong, it is a great place for that. But Facebook become a fake book to me, because everybody was, like the eyelashes or the fake makeup or the look at me, I'm at the beach and it's wonderful, all this sort of pizzazz, when, I like to keep things real and keep things honest and keep things open. So, you don't get a lot of that from me. And that sort of lost me, Facebook. I still use it, not very much, but I use it for family and friends. And YouTube now is what did I see today on a video? There's more hours watched on YouTube than any other medium anywhere in the world. That includes television, that includes, like all other social media. There's more avenues to get your message out. They're saying even websites might be defunct in the future, because you need to bring your brand to YouTube, because YouTube is where the growth is. And in this channel, it's the growth is slow and steady, and I'm enjoying the process of the conversation channel, which is what this is about. This channel is about like this is like the conversation between me, the presenter, the lovely viewer out there, the radio audience. Like like I'm an old, I still think in radio terms, where you can be chatting with friends, and you know they're out there, you think they're out there, and like radio. Let me just go down this road. Back in the day, radio was like, surveys went out. What stations do you listen to between 6 and 9? What stations do you listen to between like 9 and 12? What stations? 12 and 3, 3 and 6, 6 and 9, 9 and 12. And these were the surveys that went out, and then they microed, like, did you change from what station to what station? And then that's the results of the survey, and then you got given the results. How all that works? Well, that could be so fake. Honestly, that could be like you get given the survey and you go, oh yeah, I listen to this one, and do you or don't you? But when it's digital, the click of the button, the algorithm knows that you're there or somebody's there. So when digital radio started, you could tell you had 100,000 people listening, and you could take that to the bank with advertisers and say, hey, I've got 100,000 people listening, would you like to sponsor a show, put an ad in, all this sort of stuff. But in the past, you used to try to sell it by saying, oh, in our last survey we had 500,000 people listening in the western area of the suburbs, or wherever you live. So YouTube is the same. So YouTube knows the clicks, knows you're there. You do a live, there's 15 people in there, 1,000 people in there. You know, you can see these big lives from big channels where the chat just goes around and round and round, and you always used to wonder how they keep up with it. But yeah, the digital world. But getting back to the point, whereas now you know they're there. When I used to do radio, free to air radio, and it was on FM. And you'd say, "Oh, did you hear that song I played? I'll give you the big shout out." And oh, what time was that? Oh, I must have missed it. You know, oh, that used to get me good, because they used to beg you for it and ask you for it and carry on for it. And then when you did it, you didn't want I don't know, you didn't want pats on the back for it, but you wanted a recognition. Oh yeah, I heard you at 8:10. Thanks for giving me the shout out where the gig's at this week or whatever. No, it's funny, but like YouTube now, the life of YouTube is that you're best to keep your friends, and do your YouTube as your YouTube, because the two worlds, when they collide, it gets a bit crazy. Like, I've told stories about gigs I've been at, and venues I've been at, and places I've travelled to, and people that I've bumped into, and friends that went with us, and I tell a story about what went on that day, and I'm sort of glad they don't hear the story, because half the time either they'd be embarrassed, or they probably don't want that story to be put out there. But the beauty of YouTube is that everybody is out there. I know I'm sort of waffling a bit in this conversation, but what I'm saying, your YouTube friends will be discovered. Like, you will. I've found wonderful people out there. Like, I'm sitting in my Tasmanian studio at the back of my place, and I'm in my own little world. But with a click of a button, I'm talking to somebody or watching somebody, commenting on a video. And there's a young lady, Shawnee Grows. She does gardening. Fabulous, wonderful person. Young mother, married, doing all the things right, and she's in the upper areas of in the US, where it gets awfully cold and snowy. So she was sort of disappointed that I showed her we still got flowers here in the middle of the winter. It might be 0 Celsius at some stages of the day, but it gets up to about 10 to could be 15 if we're very, very lucky. Today was like a 10, so that was, what's that, 50 Celsius. So it can be cool. But in saying that little conversation there, that was from just, I would have never thought I could connect with somebody in Minnesota or wherever in America, these small towns or big cities. Little old me sitting in my little old studio in Tasmania, doing my little old YouTube thing, whereas my lifelong friends and my family, I got family in the house here, downstairs, don't give a rat's about YouTube. They watch YouTube, but they see what I do, and they just don't even watch. They go, "Oh, God, what's that on about?" Or what's the old boy up to? My youngest daughter, here's a good little sideline. On my last live, I was talking to my youngest daughter the night before, and she said, "Crikey's, Dad, don't. If you use another ChatGPT thumbnail, I'll thump you through the phone," because she lives 2,000 miles up, across the water and up the road. And I said, "Why?" She said, "They're bloody hopeless. Don't look." If you want to connect with your people that you know, you want to have a resemblance of yourself. So if you go back through a few of my old thumbnails on multiple channels, I've got, say, 3 channels that are fairly popular. A few of the thumbnails are a bit dodgy. ChatGPT, please send me a photo of what you would like me to use. You send it, and then what would you like on there? I'd like you to say this, and I want this there. Yes, what colours? Yep, these are the colours. And they give you back the photo, and you look at it and you go, how did they get me looking like that? But I digress. Anyway, this video, I have waffled. It is really what happens when your friends find out you're a YouTuber. Usually, yeah, it's up to them whether they care or not. My friends, let me just say, my friends, I've got one of my best friends. He wants to be a YouTuber. He wants to be monetized, but he won't do the work. You know who you are. And other people like my brother, my older brother, he watches every now and again and he gets a bit of a chuckle. He loves the stories about when I talk about my grandfather, because, you know, it's good old Pop. You know, he's been gone for a long time now, but it's always thinking of him. Hey, this is Radio Jonesy. Thanks for joining me on this little chat, this conversation. We're on this journey together. You know, let's go down this road and keep the conversation going. Until we meet again, this is Radio Jonesy, and it's here's my new saying: it's always a great day in Tassie. Ciao.